What is going to put him in jail eventually, what is going to destroy everything he has ever built and his children, is a 30-year dishonest criminal enterprise. That is what is one thing will take him out of the presidency. The other thing will ruin him forever.
Michael Cohen, more than anyone else, could be the one to bring the Trump empire crashing down. That's friend of this show, Donnie Deutsch, on Cohen, now set to testify publicly in just a few weeks. And now House Intel Chairman Congressman Adam Schiff is piling on.
We welcome his testimony before the Congress. We are glad that he's continuing to cooperate. We are going to need to have him come before the Intelligence Committee to answer questions about the Russia investigation. My understanding from his counsel is that he wants to tell his story before the Government Reform Committee, but not go to the Russia questions. Those questions still need to be answered. So we are in conversations with his counsel. We hope to have him come before our committee soon. He has obviously testified before our committee before, and that testimony was not fully forthcoming. He's accepted responsibility for that, but we need these questions answered. Thank you.
Don Edwards is back. Donna, let me ask you, Congressman Schiff, getting to it there, one of the crimes he pleaded guilty to was lying to that committee. So going back to that committee has some sort of karmic value, but it also potentially explosive.
Well, that's true, and it also could shed light on the testimony of some others before the Intelligence Committee as to whether or not they lied and what Michael Cohen's role was in offering up testimony that may have been used similarly by those individuals. I'm thinking, Donald Trump Jr., some others. So I think there's going to be an opportunity to really coordinate what's happening between the Government Reform and Oversight and Reform Committee and with the Intelligence Committee and possibly with the Judiciary Committee as well, among these chairmen, to figure out what they want and when in coordination with the special counsel.
Jonathan, what do you think the grasp on this new reality is? Who in the White House? I had a sense when Don McGahn was there that he understood very well what the real legal and existential threats were. Your colleagues reported that he spent more than 30 hours with Robert Mueller. He understood that, he had a job to do, but there was also an investigation into Russia's role, and he cooperated with it. What is your sense of the people that remain today, who Donald Trump clearly doesn't think much of, threw them all under the bus for their communication strategy? What is their grasp on this new reality?
I think they're still coming to grips with it, and they're still facing him. The counsel's office the new counsel is in place. They are staffing up. We just discussed. They brought in more attorneys. I mean, that is a recognition that this is a new era for this White House, and they have to get ready for that. But the president himself has not surrounded him. He has largely surrounded himself with people who are not going to tell him no, who aren't necessarily going to keep him in line and keep his head on straight about this. He's largely enabled by yes men. And we in our reporting in the last week or so, when he had his sort of job interview with Mick Mulvaney to take the chief of staff job, a post, of course, he had trouble filling. But after Mulvaney agreed to take it,
it's like the last person in the bar. I mean, it wasn't an interview, right? It wasn't like next candidate.
They had a few discussions about it, but he told him, the president told Mulvaney, don't tell me no often. That's something he is saying, because he was so angry at how the restrictions that John Kelly tried to place on him. So if that's just one moment, but it's emblematic of the problem that West Wing has, where they're going to have trouble keeping the president tasked and perhaps keeping him aware of the danger that's coming.
Right, so they can plan their response to all these committees and how to handle it, and construct these elaborate plans that might be very sound, and he blows them up. Right. He will blow them up with a tweet. He'll blow them up with a press avail that was unscheduled. He'll just blow it up. That's what he does.
Look, the Trump family organization, the business, the politics, was never designed for the highway. It was built for the back streets. It's just not meant for this level of prosecutorial scrutiny, the subpoenas, the House scrutiny. It was never made for that. That's why it's so hard.
That is the best articulation, Donna Edwards, that I've heard of why it's all crumbling. I will give you the last word.
Well, it is, and I think that what the president is going to face is he's going to face multiple committees and chairmen who are not going to be playing around. This is really serious, and it's not really clear to me that the president bringing on multiple more attorneys is what's going to help him here, because I think, as Eugene has said, the president is willing to blow all of that up he doesn't take counsel, and he'll go out in front of a microphone any minute and sabotage it all. And so Michael Cohen's got a lot to shed on all of it. Over a decade of experience with Donald Trump and his organization. And I think that members and the public are going to learn a lot.
Donna, let me just give you one follow-up here. It would seem, too, that if crimes have already been committed, if he is guilty of committing campaign finance violations, exerting executive privilege is going to appear, even to some Republicans, like the cover-up. And politicians always get in more trouble for the cover-up than the crime.
Well, that's right. And I think the other thing with Michael Cohen is that we've always heard this discussion of individual A, individual A. For the first time, Michael Cohen will be sitting in front of a committee under oath, and we may actually hear him articulate exactly what happened and when and by whom and how much the president directed that. And we all know the president is involved in every single aspect of his business and his presidency. The idea that he is going to just like not participate in that is not true. And Donald Cohen and Michael Cohen is going to let us know.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.